Welcome NFW Nation to another episode of Luv Shack. I'm your host, Big Al, the Doctor of Love.
And I'm your co-host, Simon Charles. Good evening, Albert.
Welcome, Charles. Welcome, my friend. And I got to remind everybody, March 24th, NFW presents Reckless Revenge at the Metro Sports Center here in Evansville, Indiana, on 5820 Metro Drive. We got all kinds of matches. And tell you what, we've got a special guest with us, don't we, Charles?
We sure do. We got none other than the Hardcore Cowboy Scotty Wolf.
Hey guys, thank you for having me on the show. It's nice being on the show again. I heard, Charles, you've been a little bit under the weather. I hope you get better. And Al, let's get down to brass tacks. Let's see what kind of questions you have for me, and let's see how honestly I might be able to answer.
Okay. Hey Charles, I tell you what, you're good at this, so I'm gonna let you start it off. Okay, my friend?
That sounds good. Just bear with me, man. I might break down here.
Okay.
All right, Scotty, I'm going to ask you the question I ask everybody. How long you been wrestling? When did you break in? And where did you train? And who was your trainer?
Well, to be honest with you, I started out in roughly between 2000 and 2001. I started training with a guy named John Faulkner. He wrestled in USWA, and he was a former tag team champion, the War Machine. I started out with him, worked with him a little bit. He got sick, and he couldn't wrestle, he couldn't train, and I ended up going down, and I ended up taking off with none other than I have a hard time wanting to admit it sometimes, but
I don't know what you're trying to say.
What I'm trying to say is I was in the same class with none other than that slimy bum Master Rich. I started wrestling with the son. I was one of the sons of the Sin, and I worked with Chris Champion down at the Coliseum for about a year. Trained, worked out with him, had to leave for a little bit, came back a few months later after Chris had his stroke, and I trained some with the superstar Mitch Ryder, got a little bit of schooling from him, got a little bit of lessons. Well, pretty much I got a lesson from about everybody I've ever gotten in the ring with. I just dropped names like crazy if I had the time, but I've been in and out of wrestling going on since, like I said, since about 2001. And technically, if you go back to the time I worked with my father, helping out with working on the ring for the USWA for when Gil on the ring, I had a finger all the way back in the 90s. I've always been wrestling orientated. I'm a fighter. Only my dad, he wasn't a wrestler, he was a boxer. So I'm just that's pretty much my past.
Kind of in your blood, so to speak.
Yeah, it's in my blood. It's always been in my blood to be a fighter. So it would just seem only fitting that after so many years of being a kid watching Dundee and Lawler and Jeff Jarrett and Danny Davis, Hulk Hogan, Rowdy Piper, the whole 9 yards, was just only fitting. There's only one thing I wanted to do more. That was just get in the ring and be with these guys. And so far, I've lived that dream, and I live it every day. And I'm proud of what I got. And there ain't nothing else to say about it. I just love it.
Well, you certainly worked real hard. Honestly, you have some really good matches. Now, you tagged for a long time with Big Bull Lee, is that right?
That's right. I worked with Big Bull Lee for a little over 2 years, in and out of NFW, a little bit here, a little bit there. Bona fide, one guy I respect more than anybody else. I honestly, truly, as much as we beat the hell out of each other, I love the man. I had tons of respect for him. Former Iraqi war veteran. A lot of people didn't know that. He was in the Tennessee National Guard for a while. The man been shot. He's bona fide war hero in my book. The things that he's been through. But he got in the ring. All that post-traumatic stress disorder, it all came out, and he was a madman.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you prefer tag wrestling or single wrestling?
To be honest with you, I've always seemed like I've always done better in singles matches. I like tag matches, but it's a matter of finding that right person to be in the ring with.
I got you.
You got to have trust in the guy that you're working with, and that's something hard to find these days. So singles wrestling, I know I can depend on myself. At least I had up until about a year ago. Had my neck injury and been fighting all last year trying to recover from that. So
right. Well, yeah, it's a chemistry for sure. I mean, I've seen a lot of great tag teams. One comes to mind. It's Chris Champion and Sean Rawl, New Breed. That was a heck of a tag team, and then when Sean left, they tried to put Chris's brother in, Mark Starr, and it just didn't work. Although they were biological brothers, they just did not have the same chemistry that Sean and Chris had together. Yeah, I can understand what you're saying. Now, this is going to be my big question to you. I guess it was 2 years ago, maybe, in May, when you wrestled the Necro Butcher at the Metro Sports Center in Evansville. How was that, and what was going through your mind before and after the match? Because that was a great match and a good match.
Well, before the match, when I got the call from the booker that it was going to be me versus Necro Butcher, because frankly, a lot of people that were on the roster at the time just they weren't a fit for that style of wrestling, and some guys were just totally scared of the fact of having to get in there with him. And I had several occurrences with him because during training in my younger years at Coliseum, he was down there a lot, and I had a lot of run-ins with him. I knew he was a tough man. I knew he was a hard-hitting man, and he'd bring it to you, and he did. I mean, I got the snot beat out of me. Probably one of the hardest matches I'd ever been in. If you'd actually watch the video back, he got me in the corner at one point, and he hit me so many times with a right hook that I almost went down. He almost knocked me out cold flat in the ring, and I had to get away from him to save myself, and had to have the help of Big Bull Lee to save me from total annihilation. But Bonafide was a man. I have tons of respect for Necro Butcher because he brought it to me, and it took everything I had just to keep up with it.
Well, he's just a big old brute, man. I mean, I remember one night, it's been years ago in Evansville, I was managing Hammerjack at the time, and on the way home, he said, I can't believe this guy. He said, I fought some tough guys. You remember the spot? I don't know if you guys do it, but there was a deal. He always do it, man, and people, you know, if there's any questions, this stuff's not real, get your butt in the ring with him, and you'll find out how real it is.
Oh, bonafidely.
But what they did is they set up two chairs in the middle of the ring, and they trade punches in the jaw. And brother, let's just say he wasn't eating steak for a few days.
And I bonafidely after I felt like I got hit with a Mack truck. I had enough knots on my head alone. I felt like Elmer Fudd after a Bugs Bunny cartoon. I knew I was in for a fight before time, and I knew I went through one heck of a fight afterward. After I got out of the ring, and I'm gonna break away from covering storylines. I walked up and I went and I found him after that match. And I actually did. I walked up to him and I gave him a handshake and I said, Bonafide, you're the top of the tier. Bonafide, one of the meanest men I've ever been in the ring with. And genuinely afterward, I found out how nice of a man he actually is. He's totally opposite. He's got a light switch. He's in the ring. He's got that light switch on. He's a monster. He's the absolute most defile individual you ever meet. Outside of the ring, I realized that he was a nice guy, and the man is a bona fide genius. A lot of people don't know that about Necro, so anybody that's hearing this now, put that in your book. You actually know something almost nobody else knows. But,
he's a very intelligent man. He's very, he knows a whole lot about politics, too.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Very brilliant man. When he talks, you need to listen, because he'll tell you something you probably haven't ever heard of before. But yeah, Bonafide, I have tons of respect for him. I have respect for just about everybody I've been in and out of the ring with. Whether I like him or not, that's a whole different matter. But I have respect for everybody I've ever been in and out of the ring with.
I got a couple more questions I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to send over to Albert. I'm sitting here about to die right now. But I guess what I want to ask you next is, I know you've worked around a lot, and you've been in the NFW now for a good while, and I want you to tell me how you like working in the NFW and how it differs from other companies, and what made you come to the NFW?
Well, I really haven't worked for a whole lot of places because most of my life I've stayed here in Southern Indiana. I didn't want to go big. It was never my intention to go to WWE, and the one outfit I ever wanted to work for was ECW, and that folded before, let's just say, I ever got good enough to ever make my way to Philadelphia. But working for NFW, I've been in NFW since 2000, I think end of 2007, early 2008, if I remember right. I may be wrong. I have to check history books. But I walked in. I knew right away you walk in, it's a whole different atmosphere when you walk in NFW. It's a family. It's everybody is there for one purpose, and that's to have a good time. And that right there alone, I come out there, and I know when I come out there, whether people hate me at one moment or they love me the next, I know I've got a reaction. People love it, and if the crowd is hard, you got to bust your butt to get the crowd to appreciate you, and that's hard to do, and it's even harder to keep it. But compared to other places I've been in, I've been in front of a lot of different crowds. Bona fide, I love Evansville, and I know we got a show coming up in Selden. I actually helped them get that building. I had a finger in it. We've had 3 shows there previously, and we've had good crowds there. And so I ain't taking anything away from Evansville, but that's an awesome crowd too, and I can't wait to go back there.
I'm looking forward to that.
To me, Selden is as close to my hometown as I'm going to get, because right now we're still in the process of trying to get shows and stuff lined up with that. But that's back business stuff. That's nothing for the fans to worry about.
Right.
But I love NFW. To me, I feel like I'm a part of the company. I feel like I'm a shareholder, because when I walk in, I do everything I can to bust my butt to give the fans everything I can give them. Some days I ain't up to par, and I apologize for it, but I still try to do everything I can to get in there and go after my opponent, whip his butt, make a good show, and just do everything I can for the company. Right. And I know it's the same mentality that just about everybody in the back has. Everybody loves it there. We had, when Visser showed up, Visser came in, and he was so amazed at how family friendly everybody was, and how great of a company it was. All I heard out of him was, "Well, I want to come back. I want to come back." And hopefully that'll be something down the line that'll happen.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm an old road dog. I've been doing this for a little while, and I've wrestled up north, up east, down south, west, southwest, and the NFW, like you said, it's family oriented. I just feel like, I feel close to everybody in the company. There's some people I don't really care for, other than the way they act, but.
And that's just part of our business now.
And one of them being rich, I just don't know what's happened to him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But that's another story.
Master Rich, the history we have going back, we've always been pretty much, we've always been at each other's throat in one way, shape, or form. And it don't surprise me him being the way he is, because he's always had this little cocky attitude about him, thinking he's better than everybody else. And it's not a surprise he thinks he's going to turn himself into this little revolution, this little cult he's got going on. With all these other individuals just kind of slowly sucking in, and Rich is buying these people left and right, trying to get people to think that he's actually got something great going on. And I know come March 24th, we got this Royal Rumble coming on, this get-together, and he thinks that he's got the odds beat on numbers. But I've been in more than one of these things. I've chased after gold. This time here, it's going to be my attempt at a third title run. I've already carried the NFW heavyweight title on 2 previous occasions. I'm going for a third. I know how it feels. Nobody's friends in these things. I don't care what allegiance you got. Everybody's against everybody.
That's the way it is, my friend. When you're going for the gold, you're going for the whole enchilada.
Right. And when you get that gold, everybody's against you. And that's just how it is.
Yeah. That's the way it is. Well, I'll tell you what, I will say this before I turn it over to Albert. You know, love him or hate him, I've known Rich for a long time, and he's got something going on, and he is determined and he's successful, so you can't knock success. But I would like to knock some daggone sense into his head. Hopefully he'll see that, you know, you just can't keep doing like that. I mean, you can buy people, but sooner or later, you know, that little turn on you. But like I said, thank you, man, for talking to me. Now I'm going to turn it over to Albert, and take it away, Al.
Okay. Okay, Scott, I just got a few little questions to ask you real quick, my friend. As you know, March 24th, NFW presents Reckless Revenge at the Metro Sports Center here in Evansville, Indiana. You're one of the participants in the NFW World Title Rumble, aren't you, sir?
Yes, I am.
Okay, give us your thoughts on that and how much of a chance you think you have, which I think you got a great chance because you're tough, but let me have your thoughts on that match.
Well, how I see this World Rumble, this heavyweight rumble going on, it's going to be mad chaos. I already expect that. It's like I said, it's something I've been in these before, and it's going to be every man for himself. I've seen guys talking on the NFW Facebook page about they're going to join forces with Rob Conway and Sean Conway and 15 other Conways, if there is any, that all want to band together. It's not going to be like that. You got a rude awakening coming if you think you're going to team up with all these guys and try to rush the Rich Revolution. Push comes to shove. I'm getting my butt back in shape. Like I said, last year I've had a really bad year, and I'm looking to change that. I'm going to spin things around. I'm working out. I'm doing what I can. My intent is to get that third title run, and I don't care if it's Rob Conway in my way. I don't care if it's Vic the Bruiser. I don't care if it's Rich. If it's Rich, the bile that he keeps spilling out, I will gore that right out of it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it is, whether it's Johnny Whiplash or just any Joe Blow that gets in my way. I'm going for that, and I wouldn't expect anything less from anybody else that's going to be in that ring. And anybody else that's trying to get something, trying to help Rich or Rob out, to help them out, they're a fool.
Yeah. Okay. Now, here's another question. Now, you heard that Rich is guaranteeing Rob's going to join the Rich Revolution, or he's going to shave his head, which I hope the heck he gets his head shaved. But he says after Rob, he's saying that you're going to be next one to join. So, give me your thoughts about him trying to say he's going to get you to join the Rich Revolution.
Well, I can tell you right now, I've never been one to play well with others. And me joining a faction ain't going to happen. I'm going to tell him right now, if he wants to try, he can go ahead. He can try until he's blue in the face. But I remember one time before, we were in a battle royal, and Rich brought it upon himself. It was between me, him, and two other guys, and he done bumped two other guys, and I wouldn't get out of the ring. And he finally turned around and he tried to offer me money, and if I remember right, I do believe I slapped the taste out of his mouth, and I think it landed somewhere in the back of the CK Newsom. So if that's any indication on how I'm going to take this Rich Revolution thing, he's got one coming.
Okay. Now, the last question I got before we let you go, Scotty, I love it on your entrance. When you come to the ring, you come in really psyched up, really pumped up and everything, and you say them words that everybody loves to hear you say, "Oh, you're ready for a fight." Does that really get you going, and it get the fans going? Does that really make you really psyched up, pumped up when you say that?
Yeah, it does. It's because like I said, my past, I grew up fighting. I fought my way all the way up from ever since I was in diapers till how I am now, and I believe I'll be fighting clean into the grave. And folks, I ain't afraid to say it. When I die, I'll still be fighting, because I'm gonna make sure everybody buries me face down. That way, everybody can kiss my butt on the way out. Because that's how I'm gonna be. I'm always gonna fight. I'm looking for a fight, and it's always gonna stay that way. So when you hear me come out there, and I'm saying it, God, man, I mean it. I'm ready for a fight. And I want to see everybody else out there if they're ready for a fight.
I'll tell you what, Scotty.
I want to bring it. I want to bring it. I want to make sure everybody knows I'm there to bring it, and I give it to them the best that I can.
All right. Hey, that's all the questions I got. And Charles, before we let him go, is there anything you want to say real quick before we let Scotty go?
I just want to say, Scotty, thanks very much for being on the Luv Shack with us. Sorry that I was under the weather, but maybe next time my voice will be a little bit better. It's not good anyways, but we just thank you very much for coming by. I know you're busy. And, hey, by the way, how's your little girl doing?
Oh, she's doing wonderful. She's doing wonderful. She's just as mean as a tornado. So
she's a cutie. I got the opportunity to meet her and your lovely wife. The last show, I think it was, and she's a real cutie.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Guys, thanks for having me on here. Hopefully, I'll be on again sometime soon. And I want both of you to take care. And NFW Nation, I'm going to tell them right now, Master Rich and the Rich Revolution, you mess with me, I'm going to ride you like a toilet seat. I'm going to put the crap to you. You guys all have a great one. And NFW Nation, love you guys. Goodbye.
Thank you, Scotty.
There you go. Thanks a lot, Scotty. We'll talk to you later. Good luck on March 24th.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Hey, Charles, you still there?
Yes, sir. I'm right here, Albert.
Okay, I got something I got to get off my chest. As you noticed a while ago, Charles, you heard my dogs barking, right?
I did.
Well, I got an email with by the Product of the People, head of the Rich Revolution, Master Rich. It had a picture of him on it, too. That's why the dogs got so mad and started barking, because they seen him, and they went wild. Now, what I want to get off my chest is, on the email, I can't say word for word what it says, Charles, because it's very explicit and it's pretty violent, but I'm just going to, leave some of the words out. But what it is, he's emailed me, daring me to be in the NFW World Title Rumble. He says, I'm not a man. He says, I can't take whipping like that. He says, I'm a chicken, I'm a coward. And he want me to be in the Rumble. And I told him, I said, I can't be in the Rumble because that's what cost me my job in the first place, was getting involved in the matches. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to be the general manager. And I'm going to leave it at that. And I will do the job to the best of my ability. He's got me upset. I'm sorry. But he came back. And now he's threatening me. He's insulting me. He's harassing me. Now he's threatening my family. He's threatening my dogs. He's threatening my kids. He's even made insults and harassments and threats toward my little grandbaby Milkshake. And that's when I draw the line. So, Rich, I tell you what, you want me in the Rumble, you got me in the Rumble. Now, I ain't going to win the match. I know I'm going to get my butt whipped, but I'm going to take it like a man. And I hope to heck that you get in there, and I hope I see you, man. I hope I can just jump on top of your back and put my hands around your scrawny little neck, you little punk. I'm getting kind of out of hand, Charles, and I'm very sorry, but he's got me, Yeah, so, NFW Nation, I will be in the NFW World Title Rumble. I am entered in it. And I can't wait. Yeah, I'm going to get beat, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to put my hands around his scrawny little neck.
Well, Albert, I'll tell you what, you sure you want to do this? I'm afraid he'll kill you. You're just not, you sure this is what you want to do?
Yeah, I got to do this. Like I said, Charles, I don't have a chance. But he done made, like I said, when he threatened me, it's one thing, but when he threatened my family, and he talk about and insult my little grandbaby Milkshake, that's when I draw the line. That's when I'm going to step up to the plate and say, okay, I will take it like a man, and I will be in the Rumble, and I hope the heck that I get my hands on you, Rich. Yeah, you might whoop me, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to get a lick in or two myself.
Well, you heard it in that Nation. That's one doctor there, Big Al. He sounds determined. When you bring family into it and loved ones, that changes everything. And like they said, since I've been a kid, dynamite comes in small packages. Kapow, Albert.
There you go. I tell you what, Charles, I'm about done now after reading that email from him. Like I said, I can't say everything, but all the threats and everything, I can't go on no more. So I tell you what, Charles, March 24th, NFW presents Reckless Revenge at the Metro Sports Center, 5820 Metro Drive here in Evansville, Indiana. You're going to see one heck of a rumble, and you're going to see Dr. Love trying to grab someone around their scrawny little neck and choke her out. So, Charles, tell you what, let's go ahead and end it right now before I lose control, and let's spread the love, because right now I need it.
All right, buddy. Just remember, NFW Nation, don't fight amongst yourselves. Leave the fighting to us and Big Al. Spread the love!
Go ahead and put it on there, because I had enough of this.